Well, a scathing federal report calling out New Jersey for neglecting veterans in state-run homes slammed with COVID-19. The result, dozens of deaths during the first months of the pandemic. The U.S. Justice Department finding 2 Garden State veterans' homes unprepared to protect residents during the lockdowns. The document blaming poor communication, lack of staff competence, and other issues as well, painting a grim picture of dysfunction and failure at veterans' homes, this in Menlo Park and Paramus.
With us now, we have 2 Republican state senators from New Jersey. We're joined by Ed Durr as well as Michael Testa. Gentlemen, welcome and thank you very much for coming on. State Senator Durr, let me start with you. The facilities are operated by the state's Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. The report found the homes allowed infected residents to commingle with the uninfected and didn't use personal protective gear correctly. So again, we're going back in time, essentially during the peak of COVID here. What did you learn from this report? What stood out to you, State Senator Durr?
Well, initially, we all knew that there was a issue with the homes and it needed to be investigated. Well, what has bothered me is that with the report also stated that certain deaths were covered up initially and they were had to be dug into, and that's why the Republican caucus has asked for an investigation by the Senate with subpoena power. I mean, it's great that the federal government investigated, but I do believe that New Jersey should do an investigation upon itself on all its long-term care facilities.
Yeah, it reminds us of the reporting of the nursing home deaths in both New York and Michigan as well. Very, very similar story. You talked about this. New Jersey Democratic Governor Phil Murphy, he weighed in. He called this a deeply disturbing reminder that veterans received unacceptable treatment. His administration making policy changes to improve conditions. State Senator Michael Testa, if you could weigh in on that, and then your thoughts on, again, very tragic situation.
Absolutely is a tragic situation, and not even the Biden administration can cover up the wrongdoings of the Murphy administration and how they handled COVID-19 in our veterans' homes. I think of our veterans who fought for our freedoms, and unfortunately, they died in deplorable conditions that were described equally to a battlefield and hell. Those are conditions that should be reserved for the battlefield, not for them, in their golden years at a veteran's home. And, they fought for our freedoms. They died in captivity. Their families were unable to see them. It makes absolutely no sense how the Murphy administration violated basic germ theory in allowing infected individuals to commingle with the elderly who unfortunately have comorbidities, which we knew were dangerous with COVID-19. These individuals were able to commingle and infect those who were uninfected. They violated basic germ theory.
Yeah, it's just tragic, again, to watch this unfold. And I even think back to funeral-related policies during the time of COVID, how restricted people were from actually seeing their loved ones in their most tragic final moments. It's really devastating to think back on. Appreciate you gentlemen joining us today. State Senators Ed Durr and Michael Testa. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.